Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, students. Good morning, parents, coordinators, Sister Janet, and good morning, Teacher Mario. Peace and well. Welcome to the second version of the speech contest. This year, the English department has the pleasure to present this special event. The program for this contest is going to be presented by the teacher Mario Garcia and me, Lisette Bertel. The event has the following order. Number 1, welcome and greeting. Number 2, prayer by Isaura Vergara. Number 3, judges presentation. Number 4, words by the principal, Sister Janet Guerra Villalba. Number 5, contextualization by the professors Mario Garcia, Lisette Bertel, and Eric Baena. Number 6, presentation of the categories. Number 7, the speeches. Number 8, interpretation of the songs All I Want and Woman by Luisa Fernanda Torres Chamorro. Number 9, results. Number 10, awards and recognitions. And number 11, farewell.
So yeah, it's an honor to be here sharing with you today. So in order to do a big opening, let's continue with the program with teacher Isaura Vergara, who is going to provide us some blessings for the day.
Good morning, everyone. I invite you all make ourselves available to pray to the Lord. So please, everybody, close your eyes. Vamos a orar. Todos en disposición, cerramos nuestros ojos y decimos, Lord Jesus, this morning we want to thank you for allowing us to be in this place. Lord, stay with us, take control of everything we do. We want your presence with us. We bless you. Amen. Señor Jesús, en esta mañana te damos gracias por permitirnos estar en este lugar. Queremos agradecerte, Dios, y pedirte que te quedes con nosotros y que tu presencia esté en este lugar. En el nombre de Jesús, amén. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Padre nuestro, que estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre. Venga a nosotros tu reino. Hágase, Señor, tu voluntad, aquí en la tierra como en el cielo. Danos hoy nuestro pan de cada día. Perdona nuestras ofensas, como también nosotros perdonamos a quienes nos ofenden. No nos dejes caer en tentación y líbranos del mal. Amén. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
The speech contest is one of the biggest activities which is included in our project, which is called It's Time to Speak English. Students and teachers have been working together for the last few weeks, trying to obtain significant results. That's the reason why the English department coordinators and principal guarantee the transparency of this event. The judges, let me introduce to them. They are the special guest and English teacher, Viviana Carolina Ferrer, teacher Lizer Alvarez, our beloved coordinator, teacher Eric Banegas, who teaches political science and has pleased us with his presence today. The expert on music, the beautiful teacher Maria de Los Ángeles Córdoba, really glad to have you here. And now we all invite you to listen some words by the principal sister, Janet Guerra Villalba.
Queridos estudiantes bifeños que se encuentran en la presencialidad de las clases y los que se encuentran conectados en la modalidad virtual, docentes del área de inglés, coordinadoras pedagógicas que acompañan esta actividad, queridos señores jurados, reciban todos ustedes un saludo fraterno de paz y bien. Les damos la bienvenida al Speed Contest en inglés como un espacio de aprendizaje que permitirá desarrollar y fortalecer la capacidad de hablar, escuchar y enriquecer el léxico en inglés, ya que se hace necesario favorecer esta clase de concurso para aprender juntos a través del intercambio de la palabra, y en la palabra que viene cargada de sentimientos, emociones, maneras de pensar e interpretar la realidad y compartir experiencias que nos van ayudando a crecer integralmente como persona, humana y espiritual, desde los valores franciscanos. Agradecemos a los docentes del área de inglés por toda la organización y preparación de los estudiantes para hacer posible dicha actividad que busca crear espacios y otros ambientes para ir aprendiendo nuevas formas de interactuar y comunicarnos con respeto desde nuestra cultura mediante este idioma extranjero. Por último, deseamos que este concurso de oratoria en inglés nos marque positivamente y nos haga sentir como estudiantes bifeños en este nivel de aprendizaje que vamos desarrollando procesualmente la habilidad de aprender este idioma para comprender la palabra hablada y la comprensión auditiva que también facilita el darse a entender de forma más clara. Por eso nos invitamos a vivir este concurso, segundo concurso, como un encuentro de amigos, aprendiendo a comunicarnos y hacernos más familia bifeña en esa capacidad de relacionarnos por medio de este bello idioma de inglés. Nos disponemos, querida familia bifeña, para disfrutarlo y vivirlo de todo corazón. Dios les bendiga.
Now, let's have some contextualization by our dear teacher, Lisette.
Thank you, Teacher Mario. Two meaningful topics were chosen by the English teachers in order to explore deeply different perspectives about the position we have nowadays in society. Those themes are social distancing and human rights in Colombia. The pandemic has brought to all of us a set of positive and negative things. One of the positive things was the experience of working or studying from home. The necessity we felt for the inclusion of technology into our daily life. Most people today are able to manage technological resources much better than we were yesterday. However, coronavirus caused not just illnesses and pathologies, but also caused a lot of cognitive damage and conflicts because of the social distancing. Humans need interaction and communication, and both of them were stolen by the pandemic. On the other hand, Colombian people faced the worst situation after 1 year. The government exposed a project that just affected the economy of Colombians. Many people, especially young adults, did not hesitate to protest, and they left home. They left home in the middle of the bad situation we were in. The protests and Protestants were getting worse and worse every day. A lot of violence and conflicts leave us with a big blood stain in our country. And that is the reason why people, even me, question how public institutions work. Colombian society must have a real change, a positive change, a real one. The Human Rights Commission may help, but the great responsibility is on you. It's on you. It's on me. Next year, we will have elections, and you must not forget how important is our role in this society. Colombia needs you. All of us need each other. Thank you so much. Now, we are going to invite the Professor Eric Baena, who is going to continue with the contextualization.
Good morning, Teacher Eric.
Good morning. Muy buenos días. En el día de hoy vamos a hablar un poco de la situación de los derechos humanos en Colombia. Pero antes de hablar de la situación actual de los derechos humanos en Colombia, es preciso comprender el significado y la importancia de lo que son los derechos humanos. Los derechos humanos son un conjunto de facultades inherentes a todo individuo por el simple hecho de pertenecer a la condición humana. Los derechos humanos sirven para garantizar el bienestar, el desarrollo y el cumplimiento de una vida digna. Los derechos humanos no discriminan sexo, ni raza, ni etnia, lengua, creencias religiosas, afinidad política, estatus social, estatus económico. Es decir, que los derechos humanos son intransferibles, innegociables e inalienables. Los derechos humanos en Colombia, según la Human Rights Watch, ¿verdad? Colombia, junto con Venezuela, Cuba, Nicaragua y Guatemala, son los países que más tienden a vulnerar los derechos humanos a su población. Entendamos que Colombia es un país de aproximadamente 50 millones de habitantes, con una superficie de 1.141.748 kilómetros cuadrados, ubicado en el noroccidente de Sudamérica. En el año 2013, un estudio arrojado por el Centro Nacional de Memoria Histórica dijo que en Colombia se han presentado aproximadamente 6 millones de víctimas en las cuales se han vulnerado sus derechos humanos. Entre esos 6 millones de víctimas tenemos personas asesinadas, personas torturadas, violadas, desplazadas, desaparecidas, entre muchas otras. Y según este mismo estudio, los principales autores de cada uno de estos hechos bastante atroces han sido en un 40% perpetuados por los paramilitares, también conocidos como las autodefensas. de que un 30% ha sido perpetuado por los grupos insurgentes o de extrema izquierda, tales como la guerrilla, el ELN y el M-19, y que el 10% de ellos han sido perpetuados por los mismos organismos del Estado. Colombia tiene un aproximado de 4 millones de víctimas desplazadas por el conflicto armado, superado en el mundo únicamente por Siria. En el año 1966, Colombia decide firmar 2 pactos con las Naciones Unidas. El primer pacto estuvo orientado a lo que eran los derechos civiles y políticos, y el segundo a lo que eran los derechos sociales, económicos y culturales. En el año 1990, Colombia entra en un proceso de movilización y de negociación con la extinta guerrilla M-19. En el año 2004 con los paramilitares o autodefensas, y en el año 2012 comienza a enarbolar una serie de procesos de diálogo con la guerrilla de la FARC. Por ende, se espera que durante los próximos años los futuros gobiernos se encarguen de entablar también conversaciones con los demás grupos insurgentes y los demás organismos terroristas con el fin de garantizarle a la población nacional colombiana la supervivencia, el desarrollo, el bienestar y el cumplimiento de una vida digna. Muchas gracias.
Thanks a lot, teacher. Eric, some really deep words that I will try to assume with some speech that I have elaborated by the hand of Miss Andrea Victoria Rojas, which helped me. Human rights in Colombia. According to the United Nations, human rights are inner to the rights of human beings, regardless of their condition, sex, nationality, ethnic origin, language, or religion, or any other condition that human rights may include, which represent the rights of life and liberty, not the subject or not subjected to slavery nor torture, to freedom, to opinion and expression, to education and work, among many others. These rights correspond to all people without any sort of discrimination. Colombia is one of the greatest of the United Nations since 1945, as the teacher said. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights was proclaimed by United Nations General Assembly in Paris on December 10, 1948. However, we would be very innocent and very naive, if you may say, if we believe that since the date of the year of the promulgation, which was 1991, until the current year of the Constitution in Colombia, it changed immediately. That we will no longer be in Colombia with the Constitution of 1986, which is shortcomings and empty. Of course, the social dynamics were different of what you have in the law. Because as the teacher said, Colombia is on the main news every day, representing all the violence and all the bad side as we society Colombia show up to the world. And yes, definitely is our responsibility, and you as the youth, you will be the future for the next generations. So the main principle that we have to establish here, it would be the creation of consciousness and being aware of who we are and the times that we are living. Thanks a lot.
Okay. To continue with the speech contest, it's time to present the categories. The participants.
and talking about pros and cons of social distancing. As all kind the problem, there are a pros and cons of social distancing. So today I want to explain what are pros and cons of social distancing. The pros are 1. You can see a pressure in the relationship even in the distance. 2. We are talking less of ourselves and and our family or relatives. 3. They create transmission of influenza, which limits the effect on individual lives, school, workplace, and headquarters teams. The cons are 1. We have to get used to new reality. It's like a ball there was thrown at you, and there is not other option that catch it. 2. A lot people not working because COVID-19 affect the economic of some companies. 3. Home school are at home, and the students have keep touch with their classmates through computers. 4. A lot of students have emotional disorder. To conclude, I want to say the COVID continue in your life. The, ed- the, the education system is going to be affect the students' emotional disorder. Thank you so much.
Is this category is talking about social distancing. Let's continue with Ana María Saldarriaga Quiroz.
My name is Ana María Saldaria Quiroz, and today bring you pros and cons of social distancing. Social distancing is a biosecurity standard that we must comply with and respect. Social distancing has some pros and cons, so today I am going to tell you what they are. Firstly, I'm going to start with the cons. Well, as I said before, we can hate the clothes. That is why we can hug each other, go to parties, or be in large crowds of people. It also affects the educational community since in some schools there are many students in a single room and there is not enough space for everyone to keep their distance. Now let's follow them with the pro. Social distancing also lowers the number of infections due to COVID-19 because being distanced from a person who may have the virus, the germs that are in the air will not easily rush us. In conclusion, social distancing is one of the most important aspects to prevent and protect people of the virus. Also, is causing students desmotivation to study because they must spend a lot of time in front of a computer to take class at home. I want to add that social distancing is why to prevent the COVID. And be happy is an invitation to take care of yourself. Thank you.
Now let's continue with the next category, young learners for sixth grade.
My name is Ana Lucia Martinez, and today I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of social distancing. Okay. And hello everyone, my name is Anuncia Martinez Contreras, and today I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of social distancing in a personal and global level. First, I'm going to talk about the changes. Sorry.
Don't worry because I know you're very comfortable. Okay, so you just have to talk slowly.
Okay. First, I'm going to talk about the changes in people's personal lives. First, with the cons. Due to the pandemic, people must stay 6 feet away from each other, which has led to small moments that we often dismissed as hugs or handshakes being more appreciated and cherished. Staying at home most of the time and being away from family and friends can be especially tough for young people. But a pro is that because of the pandemic, people are now starting to realize the importance of personal space, and that some people don't like it when someone gets or talks too close to them. Now, on a global level, one of the cons is that the economy has been affected a lot because the coronavirus has had a great impact on people's lives, especially in sectors like the entertainment, like cinemas and theaters. Also, sporting events have been canceled or postponed. Religious events have also been affected. And commercial activities like supermarkets and restaurants have had difficulty selling or promoting their products. But now with the pros. Regarding the advantages of physical distancing, it helps us to protect us from the coronavirus because the COVID-19 is spread when an infected person breathes, talks, or speaks too close to someone and they inhale the droplets with the virus. So therefore, social distancing reduces the probabilities of someone getting or transmitting the virus. In conclusion, even though the pandemic precautions are hard and can be challenging for some people, they are necessary for the prevention of this virus. So we have to look for solutions to the pandemic and be patient, because slowly our lives will go back to normal. Thank you and goodbye.
Now we continue on the teens category. On the 7th grade, we have Ana Sofia Chinchilla Alvarez.
Diseases do not come to us out of nowhere. It develops from small daily sins against nature. When no sins have accumulated, diseases will appear suddenly. Hypocrites. Good morning. I am Ana Sofia Chinchilla Alvarado, and today I have the privilege of talking to you about social distancing, something very French today. Social distancing is a tool the public health officials recommend to slow the spread of disease. This prevented hospitals from collapsing, and its spread is prevented, which is very good. Physical contact is the most likely route of transmission, and this is the way to spread the disease. Social distancing is very good as it prevented from continuing the pandemic. It's very important that we can understand this, as many people do not care, that this is the only way we can help from home. The disadvantage is that we cannot see our relatives. We cannot hug each other or eat ice cream in the mall because we can get infected. Life will never be the same again. Personally, I think the most important thing is to take care of the elderly, as they are the source of wisdom. Take care of yourself and thus take care of the future of future generations. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful participation. We're now going to take a little break. Let's take a 10-minute break so the judges may have their time. Okay. we are back from the break. Now let's continue with the next categories. On themes by ninth grade, we have Isabel Sofía Garcés Sierra.
The first time I heard about the first time I heard about human rights, they told me that it was something that should not be taken away from me. It is something that belongs to me because I am human. It is a very beautiful definition. I understood it as a treasure that all people have, regardless of skin colors, beliefs, country of origin, sex, and level of education. However, when we compare the reality of our country, we see how this definition of human rights moves away from our side. In Colombia, human rights are something that is taken from us all the time. According to the United Nations, during 2020, the number of people belonging to indigenous and Afro-descendants communities who were confined due to the armed conflict was 23,128. At last, 69 people, mostly civilians, were injured by landmines. The number of victims of forest displacement amounts to 16,190. As of December 25, 66 massacres have taken place. On July 16, the Embera indigenous people denounced the death of a 9-year-old girl from a shore recife during an armed confrontation. Added to all this are people in extreme poverty who don't have access to health, public service, and food. Also, in the recent demonstration related to the national strike, we have seen the excessive use of force. Thus, we could cite thousands of examples where the right to freedom, health, education, housing, and even life was violated. Despite this great panorama, we must continue fighting for our rights, those that belong to us since we are born. Let us remember that it is something that we can never let ourselves be taken away. They are part of our humanity, and it is the greatest treasure that a person can possess. Thank you.
Wonderful. Now let's continue with the teens category. By 8th grade, we have Sophia Alejandra Banegas Olivo.
My name is Sophia Alejandra Banegas Olivo. I'm 13 years old. I'm from 8th grade. And today I'm going to talk about human rights in Colombia. But first, I want to share a phrase from our dear Papa Francisco II. And he says, "The secret of peace is in respect for human rights. Respect for health, education, equality, life, work to express oneself, to live freely without being judged, rejected, or criticized. In the worst of cases, threatened, violated, and assassinated. Every day, we see how these rights are violated in Colombia, and how, little by little, they end the illusion of achieving peace, the one that we all long for so much. But that slips from our hands day by day, because when we look at the news, we find murders, rapes of boys and girls, physical and verbal abuse of hundreds of women, and not to mention the massacres, displacement, kidnapping of countless peasants. And nobody's safe here. Defenders of people, teenagers, indigenous people, absolutely all of us are being violated our rights. and our actions. We can do nothing against a system that's been like this for years. But I always say everything starts from our heart and our home. For my part, continue believing in justice and in God, and continue to do my best from home to at least build a healthy and respectful environment around me. Talking about human rights in Colombia is not it's not a exactly simple matter. On the contrary, it hurts a lot. Have to mention all the time they have been violated, and thousands of cases that are still unsolved. I could mention dates, figures. Also, I could speak of certain cases that happen and let us marked by the hair, the economy, the society, and in which the only certain and evidence is our violating of our rights. The lack of access to justice continues to be a challenge that perpetuates cycles of impunity and violence. In almost all Colombia, the figures are alarming. But today, I want to mention a departments that have suffered the most in recent years, that are Antioquia, Cauca, and Norte de Santander, where disputes over illegal activities have been the main cause of so much violence. The current situation of Colombia has aroused the interests of Colombian people about the importance of fulfillment of our rights. People have looked at the panorama and have fixed their attention on the reasons for much internal revolt. And everything is in the same. Rights in Colombia, they are being violated. And you must be asking, why are people on the street? It's so easy. Our rights are taken. The government is do nothing for this. And rights are not asked for. They are us. Thank you so much for your attention.
Really deep and touching words, Miss Sophia. Now let's continue with the category teams on ninth grade by Miss Isabel Sofia Martinez Bobadilla.
The distressing fact of being born, growing up, and realizing that your rights have been taken away, it is more common than it seems, since this is a reality for many people, a reality from which they cannot escape. My name is Isabel Sofia Martinez Bobadilla. I'm a ninth grade student from BIF School, and today I'm going to talk to you about the violation of human rights in Colombia. Since childhood, we have been taught that all human beings have rights, since we arrived to this world, without any exception, and that thanks to them, we will all have a promise in life being useful members for society. Unless you have the misfortune to be born in a poor area which has been forgotten by the government itself. If that is your case, your chances of getting ahead are practically null. Because of the state of barbarism suffered during the Second World War, human rights were created to protect the integrity and freedom of individuals. If people's rights are violated, conflict increases and development slows down. Therefore, it is understandable that the countries with the greatest inequality are developing, like our country Colombia, which has a Gini coefficient of 0.538. A very high value, but true, since there are more reasons to understand the origin of this number. First, a president who seeks only self-interest is elected and starts his government. Then, he starts to focus on getting money, even if it means directly affecting the income of the people. As I had initially indicated, municipalities are left aside, such as Tumaco, whose homicide rate is the highest in the entire country due to its constant armed clashes. People whose right to life was denied. Some of the people who suffer these violations are looking for other means to get ahead, such as drug trafficking, theft, or prostitution, highly criticized activities by society. On the other hand, there are people who go out to protest so that their rights are considered, or to raise their voice on behalf of those who have been silenced. A fair action, but it represents a huge risk for both the protesters and those in charge of containing the protest. The reason for this is the ill treatment and murder on both sides. Neither to right of freedom of expression nor to right to life are respected in this case. If we want to defend our rights, we must choose methods that are more effective, such as fighting for guardianship, right of petition, popular action, enforcement action, or group action, not hurting people and breaking up other people's establishments. That is not the way. Human rights can then be defined as conditions that are essential, but are constantly violated by people who represent authority. They omit the fact that those affected from their actions are human, therefore they also have rights. That is why we must fight for them, not causing harm to others, because equality is not found through blows. In this way, we can put into practice what we were taught as children, overcome the difficulties as a community, and thus generate justice for everyone. Thank you all for your attention.
Thanks a lot, Miss. Very well structured your speech. Now let's continue. On the teens category, by ninth grade, we have Daniela Sofía Arrieta Núñez.
Since we were children, we are being to use a certain quality requirement. We are evaluated and criticized. Looking at it from there, we realize that it's natural for us to seek to be more than others, never less. No matter the methods, the important thing is to have the power to say, I'm better than you, and you. Good morning, judges and present. My name is Daniela Rieta. It's a pleasure to be here. And today I come to talk to you about something so simple but so difficult to understand as humans' rights, especially in Colombia. We are equal but different. It sounds contradictory, but it's logical. To be or not to be, to think or to feel. Beyond flesh and blood, we have desires, pleasures, and goals. How we determine what we want? Think. Knowing what we deserve. Human rights are moral rights that every person in the world possesses simply by the virtue of being a human. No one, no person, no government can take away our rights. We live in a country where the difference, instead of making us special, making us vulnerable. A country where the majority of the population is black and the other part is racist. Where people who think differently are silenced. Where being a woman is not as easy as being a man. And so many things so basic in the reason for being, but with violence, it becomes more complicated. I dare to say that Colombia is the cradle of Kenton. It's funny hearing for a Colombian. That's how bad it is. We see how in Colombia, 17% of the case of discrimination leading towards men. And listen this, 69% towards women, 2% to Afro and LGBT population, 12% to include both men and women, 45% don't have access as a decent health follow-up, more than half of the country live in poverty, and so many distinctions between the most and the less favored when we are supposed to be on equal conditions. This is the reading what the rest of the world see in the news. The peaceful protests that end in massacre, taking away the most fundamental right of all, the right to life. We have the right to complain, we have the right to demand. That is why this generation is called a crystal generation. We question everything, but it's because we know what we deserve. We are a country. We prefer to say that we live in a country where beautiful views are beautiful places, are beautiful landscapes, but one of them are unequal. And that is a reality that many choose to avoid. We all deserve a dignified life, an education, a freedom of expression and thought, a food, a fair and free world. But as we live in Colombia, that is a tale simple fantasy. And remember today and always what Malala Yousafzai said. Part of the human nature is we don't learn the importance of anything that is until it's taken out of our hands. Thank you for your attention.
Now we are going to continue with the next category, young adults.
Good morning, everyone. Let's thank God first for allowing us to be here today, gathered in this room. Also, for being able to enjoy these wonderful opportunities. Before, the subject that I'm going to focus on today is human rights. Before telling you a little bit about my opinion and perception on this important topic, I'm going to make a short introduction to contextualize and be more and more objective about it. Human rights are the valuable heritage that the 19th century has bequeathed to us. Of course, their development goes back much further. In fact, the emergence of human rights did not occur until the 19th century. From the perspective of international law, it did not take place until the 20th century. Human rights are commonly understood as all basic ethical and legal elements, conceptually universalizable and valid for all humans, based on the principle of respect for the individual. Its fundamental assumption consists on that each person who is a being who is moral and rational, and deserves to be treated with dignity. They all call human rights because they are universal. While nations and specialized organs enjoy certain rights that only apply for themselves, human rights are those that everyone possesses simply because they are universal. According to United Nations, there are the forerunners of human rights at a global level. These are inherent rights that must be applied without distinction of characteristics and aspects such as religion, nationality, language, sex, ethnic origin, and ideology. As I mentioned at the beginning, it's a really crucial topic. Human rights are historical legacy. And not to mention that these rights set precedents and generate commitment among states, governments, and citizens, promoting respect, tolerance, and general well-being. For this reason, it is continuing to develop the maintaining of the rights of his historical legacy. Thus, we enjoy a peaceful and stable world society in the future in which we will see fewer people in a situation of vulnerability. Human rights will set wellness standards. Human rights make life in community possible. Human rights promote democracy. And last but not least, human rights protect the most vulnerable. In accordance with the aforementioned, human rights are a basic and main aspect to manage to develop successfully within society. It definitely allows us to see the others as ourselves. It gives us a clear vision that our rights and other people's rights begin. It is important to love ourselves, accept ourselves, and value our projects, goals, thoughts, and feelings. If we do it, it is wonderful. But if we do it with everyone, it's invaluable. Demanding our rights should be an inherent characteristic of the human being. But let's never forget that that fulfilling our duties is also. Definitely the fulfillment of our duties is should never be related to the precepts established by the society standards that categorize you as a full and self-released being. The fundamental thing is that for you to experience the value and the fulfillment of both rights and duties, it's necessary that your interests, objectives, likes, and priorities in life prevail. Do not wait and sit around waiting for good things to happen just because you have the right. You have to move to look for them. You have to knock on doors that are necessary to reach your goal. And last but not least, nothing can become an obstacle for you. Always be resilient and fight to the end. Thank you so much.
Let's continue with Valerie, Sophia.
We have learned to fly the air like birds and swim the sea like fish, but we have not learned the simple art of living together as brothers. Martin Luther King. Good morning, everyone. I'm Valerie Sophia Nunez from 10th grade, and today I'm going to talk about human rights and its action in Colombia. At first, the mere fact of having a human condition intrinsically must imply human dignity as an essential characteristic of individual and collective development of human beings. From our beginning, we were born as free social beings, and over the centuries, we have multiplied. We have created new conglomerates with different customs, cultures, and different living conditions. This has implied creating norms of individual and group coexistence, accept and respect for everyone in order to have these conditions that would allow us, among other things, the right to life, freedom, free movement, food, with the particularity that they were all respect and accept for the people in the society. But now let's talk about a closer reality, about our reality in Colombia. Colombia, as an organized state, recognizes and is obliged to uphold and protect human rights for all the people in the territory. Same rights proclaimed in the framework of the General Assembly of the United Nations in 1948. Colombia, for more than 50 years, has experienced difficult times in public order, caused by our internal armed conflict, ones that for so many years have violated the human rights of the people living in conflict zones because of the kidnappings, massacres, genocide, all of that horrible things against that people. And actually, the Colombian state and civil society itself has tried from one way or another to protect and preserve the human rights of the people there. But it has not been easy or efficient due to the complexity of the situation over the time. It's here when we find organizations such as the AMDES office and international organizations accredited by Colombia, like the NGOs, that have made enormous efforts to try to protect our human rights. This is sad, of course, and this makes us worried. But unfortunately, it's not the only situation we have lived. Because if we remember, since April 28th of this year, there have been large mobilizations of protests by people or from our country. And we have seen all of these violations of human rights, like the human right of the life, but for all the deaths happened, and the freedom of expression, where also the institutions who defend the right were affected by it. Because of all of these, the ICHR, International Commission on Human Rights, requested to visit Colombia in order to verify that complaints about human rights violations. And the agreements reached that there were indeed violations of human rights. And this led some recommendations by them. It's amazing because it would possibly bring major institutional changes in the internal structure of the national police. All of that trying to make it more human and protective for our rights. Looking for that peace and freedom that for so many years we were wanting. Concluding this speech, I just hope that all of this ends and finally our country, because at least we deserve it. yeah, serve it. Thank you so much.
Now, María José Gutiérrez López from 11th grade.
Colombia. There were declared in Constitution of 1991, we have the opportunity and obligation to be free, to have a worthy life, for think and believe in the best values to us. That sounds too beautiful. But in spite of being considered very important for the society and the government are wrecked steadily. The poverty is a fact that violates rights because that person don't have a good place to live, don't have equality, and the situations happens to a lot of time ago. The most powerful people abuse of their power. For example, a congressman will do a lot for a town have a better health system, but still the money. The situations occurrence in companies, schools, and daily life. But if it is the reality, the human rights through the function, and can we see their application into the protest? The armed conflict in Colombia left 6 million of victims. In that event, we notice how the personal horrors and the justice don't apply in a scenario like wars. Otherwise, we can talk about the cases that are developed right now, the social protest. The discomfort beginning for the tax reform and the health reform. But even when the governments and rulers try to make an agreement, that cannot happen. These persons use their right for show their opposition with both projects. Also, in the development occurrence, the police force abuse of their power. They kill some demonstrators. There are persons lost and videos about women what violate for the police. La Flaca has bruises in both legs because an additional man shot her back with tear gas. This woman affirms hasn't weapons and doesn't make violent attacks. And I know the situations happens with a lot of other persons in the middle of protests. Citizens that just use their right of a good life. They just express their opposition with the government and with the management of the country. Also, the rioters assault two cops and burn some stores. Don't matter what, both parties violate rights. But even in normal push, the duties are wrecked steadily. Otherwise, the people tell to us we have the opportunity of have a good education, of a good life, of have freedom. But this is just a good speech. The truth is, the justice is in every part in our life. It's like a bad song that never stop to play. For example, we can see day in every our days. In conclusion, I feel grateful for we have the human rights, but even in normal exposure, the duties are wrecked steadily, and we need to make a big effort for apply them into our life. It's bad to think the other things were more or less than us. The point is find a way to respect the human's rights, always, or at least the most part of the time. This is a brave act, and the best way to make the human rights truly function and have sense into our society. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, so right now we're about to go to the 10-minute break, continuing with the schedule. And welcome back to the speech contest. We are very pleased to be back in this competition. Today, we are going to have an interpretation of the song All I Want by Luisa Fernanda Torres Chamorro. Miss, come here.
All I want is nothing more to hear you knocking at my door. 'Cause if I could see your face once more, I could die. I'm happy, man, I'm sure. When you say your last goodbye, I died a little bit inside. I laid until I'm bed all night, alone without you by my side. But if you love me, why you leave me? Take my body, take my body. All I want is, and all I need is to find somebody, find somebody like you. Cause you brought out the best of me, a part of me I never seen. You took my soul and wiped it clean. Your love was made for movie screens. But if you love me, why you leave me? Take my body, take my body. All I want is, and I need is to find somebody, find somebody like you. Thank you.
Great
Wonderful.
performance.
Wonderful, wonderful. Beautiful kiss.
Okay, now we are going to continue with the next step. The judges have already selected all the winners. We are going to call the students by category to announce the winner, and they will receive the recognition. But first, the teacher, Maria de los Ángeles Rodriguez, will expose something, about this competition.
Okay, thank you. was a really hard decision to take, but we feel proud of your courage and talent. So, girls, just feel like a winner and keep improving your English in your daily life. Thank you so much.
Wow, I'm so impressed. You are such a great students. You are a great team. Please keep practicing your English skills because English now is not the language of the future, it's the present now. So please keep practicing and improving all your pronunciation, speaking, and all the skills. So congratulations to all of you.
Bueno, de parte del jurado queremos decirle que es un honor estar aquí con ustedes, escuchar cada uno de sus discursos. Siéntanse desde ya como unas ganadoras, felicitarlas enormemente por sus talentos, por sus habilidades, que las sigan desarrollando cada día más y que nunca dejen de aprender el idioma inglés.
So the English department want to say that it's a really pleasure to have here some students that can speak in English, also in a grateful and beautiful talent. So continue practicing and improving the English skills. Thank you so much.
Now we invite the sister, hermana Janet Guerra, and the coordinator, Edna. Please come here. And we are going to call the students by category, okay? First, the category children. Laura Sofía Jaramillo Usman and Ana María Saldarriaga Quiroz. And we also invite the coordinator, Viviana, and the coordinator, Sister Ángela Tovar.
Announce the winner. Really anxious.
Okay, hold on. Well, this category was spectacular, of course, right? But the winner is Ana María Saldarriaga Quiroz.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Ana.
Big applause for the winner. Congratulations, Miss. We exhorted you to continue improving your skills.
Thank you, Teacher Mario. Well, let's continue with the next category, young learners. Ana Lucía Martínez Contreras and Ana Sofía Chinchilla Alvarado. Well, girls, it's good to mention that both of you did a great performance, okay? So the winner from this category is Ana Sofía Chinchilla Alvarado. Bravo.
Big up, Miss. Congratulations.
Congratulations, girls. Great job.
Excellent category. Now let's move up with the next one. We have team. I'm pretty anxious. We are about to call Isabel Sofía Garcés Sierra, Sofía Alejandra Banegas Olivo, and Daniela Sofía Arrieta Núñez. Please, to the stage. As told by the judges, this was a hard category. Okay, you have a bunch of skills, have a lot of energy and a lot of body language. So
Well,
we should the best.
yeah. By the way, teacher Mario, from this category, we have 2 winners. And now we are going to mention both of them. The first place is for Daniela Sofía Arrieta Núñez.
Wonderful.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, man. How about that? We have a second place. Told you, was a hard one. Now we want to call Miss Isabel Sofía Martínez Bobadilla. Miss, you got the second place.
Congratulations,
Congratulations
Sophia.
to you.
And congratulations, Isa, and congratulations, Sophia. You did a great performance also, okay?
Also, the invitation to continue to improve your skills. Definitely, Mrs.
Now, the last category is young adults. Nicole Alexandra Aparicio from 11th grade. Valerie Sofía Núñez from 10th grade. And María José Gutiérrez López from 11th grade.
Remember again, you are all winners. Thank you for participating. And the winner is Valerie Sofía Núñez Bermúdez. Congratulations, man. Step forward. Congratulations. And all of you for participating.
Well, it's a pleasure for the English department that you have been participated from this beautiful contest, the speech contest. So we are going to invite you for the third one. So please, thank you so much for all your attention and all your participation. Teacher Mario?
I just want to add that, yes, it's about making this presentation shows where we can be able of showing off our skills. So the invitation is for all the students that are seeing us broadcasting live and the ones that are here present. We want to invite you, always participate and always improve your skills.
And thank you for Luisa Fernanda Torres. Great song, great performance.
Great
Thank
performance,
you so much.
definitely.
And see you next time. Bye-bye.